faces, my body, head, and soul. Many miles away, I could start a perfect story. I find myself and find out glory. This deceptive world, giving me the sign, giving me the sign. Giving me the sign, giving me the sign.
Welcome, everyone, and good night. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we explore the female characters in sci-fi television shows, movies, book, games, art, and anywhere a female character in science fiction is depicted. If you are new to our channel, we want to welcome you, and we want to ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell so you know when our shows are coming up and you don't miss any, and it really does help the channel grow. If you would like to support our channel, check out our merch store and purchase something. The website is right there. It's going to be scrolling all night. My name is Nita, and joining me tonight is my co-host Sarah. Yes, and her beautiful daughter, who is our honored guest, Leah. And tonight, we're going to be celebrating International Day of Women and Children in Science, Women and Girls in Science. And officially, the International Day of Women and Girls in Science is February the 11th, but our show is on Friday. So we're doing it tonight. We're going to be talking to our special guest about her STEAM school program. When Sarah and I are going to be discussing the STEM programs and STEAM programs, and it's going to be chock full of information. So, uh, Sarah, how are you doing? Let's start with the Sarah.
I'm good. How are you, Nita?
I'm good. Leah, how are you doing tonight?
Great, thanks.
Thank you for being here. Now, I want to start by
Yes.
saying
Pick it up.
Leah is part of the Richmond STEAM Academy. And I want you to talk to me about your school. What does STEAM stand for?
What STEAM stands for is science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Excellent. Now, I know that they teach differently in the STEAM programs than in other schools. How do you like the way this school teaches you versus how you used to learn?
Well, I used to learn in I used to learn in we would do all the same subject,
Hmm.
different subjects in the same room, and getting the same teacher and the same experience. So it used to just be exhausting to do that. But when I switched to the STEAM program, it gave me an opportunity to get different teachers throughout the day and
Oh,
get
excellent.
different learning experience. And as a fifth grader, it also gives me different things to learn.
Oh, that's excellent. I like that way of learning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, what was the first thing you noticed about your school when you first got there? Your new school, your STEAM school.
Well, it was a lot bigger, and I noticed I didn't have to get up as early because our days are long, we go longer throughout the day,
Okay.
but we have more classes,
Oh,
and we
okay.
don't have
That's
to get up as
excellent.
early.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
Um,
basically we're fifth graders learning at a sixth grade level.
Yes.
was that challenging
It
to
does
get
get
adjusted
challenging
to?
sometimes,
Hmm.
but once you've been doing it for at least the first month, it gets easier to
Excellent.
juggle
That's
all your
great.
classes and periods.
Now, what is your favorite thing about the STEAM school?
Actually, we're with all the teachers, we're supposed to get 6 periods but since it's a special school, we actually get 7, and that's our special class that we take. And I would say my special class is probably my favorite part of the day.
Now your mom told me you did the gaming and robotic classes. How did you like those?
Um, well, I really like the gaming one because you have the option to make like a board game, a video game, or like a board game and a video game.
Now,
That's
every
playing.
student works by themselves, or do you work in a group?
You can work by yourselves, but you can also have up to 3 to 4 partners.
Nice. How do you like doing it? Partners or no partners?
I do. I usually use one partner,
Okay.
and in the gaming class, it was actually a lot more fun, I would say, than all my other ones that I experienced because, yes, we got to use hot glue and one of my others, but we got to use hot glue and we got to do artsy stuff. And
Oh,
we had
excellent.
to write down our own rules to the game.
Now, for the robotics portion of my question, I have some pictures, and it will be great if you can talk us through what we're looking at here, which is the Macy's Day Robotic Parade.
Yes. Basically in my robotics class, we we used trying to remember what it's called.
Balloons and stuff to make floats.
No. We used a programming, I can't remember what it's called right now.
Okay.
But we used it and like that's how we programmed them, and like they came with all these little parts in these steel cases. So we had to put the robot together with their and they had their own engines. And then one of the other teachers, STEAM class that my STEAM teacher at the time is friends with her, they kind of teamed up. So my STEAM class was building the robots, and then the other STEAM class was making the balloons and like figuring out how to put them on the thing. On
These little mounts right here.
So basically, the little straws, are what mounts the things, the balloons to the robots.
Excellent.
And
These are really nice.
Did you parade them through the whole school or just the upstairs hallway?
Well, the robots kind of can't go downstairs, so we only roamed the upstairs portion. And after we roamed the upstairs portion, I'm trying to think. Oh, we used the app that was made for the engine of the robots, and that's what we used to drive. Because like some kids use the steering wheels on there, which I personally think it's harder. That's harder.
You find the app easier to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can also do you program the robots to go which ways, but it was kind of funny because we kept misprogramming the robots by mistake.
Now, what happens if you misprogram the robot?
Not much, just they roll the wrong direction that you want them to go.
Do they go in circles?
They can go in circles, and we all messed up our programming at first. And all the robots started heading towards the robot STEAM teacher. So it was like a robot
attack
army
of the robots. That sounds like a lot of fun. How long did it take you to do yours?
Basically in each STEAM house we have a 6 weeks time period and a 6-week grading period.
Okay.
So in the first 5 weeks, the first week we learned how to program that, we learned how to build stuff, and then the second we learned how to program them, and the second to the third, I want to say, we learned how to program them.
Okay.
And then we started putting them together for 2 more weeks, and we just practiced that. And then it came down to the last 2 days of that STEAM house. And we kind of just I can't talk. we put the robots and the balloons together, and then we made our robot parade.
That's a really nice parade, though. That looks like it was a lot of fun. Um,
Hmm.
And
how did you enjoy your final project when you saw it actually working?
it was very fun, but like we have our hallway is weird. We have one long hallway that leads to a staircase, and then we have like a square hallway with two different staircases entries.
Okay.
So basically, we went in a square. Like we started at the stairs and then went forward, over, back, down, and then we picked him up and went back to class.
That's fantastic. Now, mom tells me you're doing a recycling program now. Talk to us about what it is that the STEAM program is doing uh, to teach about recycling.
Basically, it's really not much, but in my STEAM house that I'm in now, I'm trying not to mention the teachers' names because I don't know if they're okay with this.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
But my teacher, Miss Robinson, I just realized I'm off camera, but
It's okay.
my teacher, Miss Robinson, she noticed that like we have this really big parking lot and there's nowhere for us to sit down if you wait in that parking lot for your parents.
Okay.
So she noticed that, and that's what her STEAM house is about. It's about washing the lids, like the plastic lids,
Collecting bottle caps, plastic bottle caps.
what she said, and like then washing them. And then like she takes them 5 hours away. I don't remember where.
Okay.
But to the recycler that's 5 hours away.
He melts them down, and then he's working on turning them into a bench.
So you're going to have a recycled bench.
Yep,
Yes.
from all the bottle caps they collect at the school. Yeah.
Wow. Now,
So
what about
they
the
saw a problem.
recycling do you like the best? What is it that you're enjoying about this project?
Well, like if you're not washing lids or sorting or collecting, you are at your desk, and it's basically a study hall.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm a kid. I don't want to do that. So I always opt to go and sit down and wash at the buckets.
But is it kind of neat to see real world application of the things that we recycle here at home?
What she
Yeah.
said. And like I noticed a lot of Diet Coke pop caps.
Now, we all recycle, right? We all
Yep.
Yeah.
required
Yep.
to recycle. How do you feel when you see that recycling actually is doing something positive? How does it make you feel to be a part of that?
Really, when I first entered
Go ahead.
her class,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it amazed me that what I've been doing ever since I was a little kid was actually doing something and helping the economic system,
No, the ecosystem.
the ecosystem.
Now, how does recycling help the ecosystem? Do you know a little bit about that, or do you feel confident to speak on that?
Well, recycling, it really helps the ecosystem because when that plastic and garbage is on the ground for so long, eventually the grass obviously grows. And when the city comes to cut that public grass, it chops up those little pieces of paper and plastic, and they dig into the earth. And it starts damaging the earth because it has so much gunk and debris from being outside for so long
Yeah.
on it.
So it
It's hard to
damages
clean
the
it up.
soil of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, it's composting it, but in a bad way of that.
Yeah, because microplastics don't break down.
Yeah.
So we need to find another use for them.
And you as a mom, how do you feel that she has flourished versus her old school and now?
I think she's doing much better at this school because it has her attention. She's not as bored because the class periods are only about 45 minutes, and they do change classes. They go to their locker, they get their books, they go to their next class.
Exactly.
And that's what we do later in higher grades, but in fifth grade, that's kind of like, whoa. I know that at the other school, the other middle school, they only have two teachers. They have a homeroom teacher, and then they have like their special teacher.
Like they have a homeroom.
Mm-hmm.
They have their specials in between their two classes. Then they have
their other
Yeah.
homeroom teacher.
Now
So they have
I have
three.
one final question for you. How much homework do you get?
Well, since it's a little
Because
bit
you say
hard,
you get more classes, right?
Yeah.
I would say like because it's sixth grade work put on a fifth grader.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit harder for us to learn that stuff. It's like to take it all in. So it's hard to keep up with the teachers because they talk so fast because of how many years they've been doing it.
So it's usually about an hour and a half every night.
Wow.
And I gotta be honest, most of it is math.
Yeah, but there's math, and then there's what do we do?
It's math,
Social studies the other night.
social studies,
Reading,
and my science.
Yes, that's excellent. And you like your school.
Yes.
You like this school. That is
Yeah.
great. That is really fantastic. To see a young lady like yourself learning the sciences, learning about math and technology and utilizing it and seeing how it affects the universe and the world we live in. This is really great. Do you think you have an idea of what you would like to be in the future? Like what you would like to study? And do you think this school has influenced you?
If I could, I would like to. I don't know how to explain it.
maybe a forensic sciences.
I'd like to be like a forensic scientist, but I feel like I won't go to college for all those years.
Mm-hmm.
But like if that doesn't work out, if I do still end up going to college, I would really like to be an art major.
Excellent. That is wonderful. And you're being exposed to art in this school. This
Yes.
is really, really great. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and come back talking about our STEAM program. And we're back. And I want to thank Sarah for allowing us to talk to her daughter, Leah, and have her share her experiences with science and technology. That's okay. And listen, sometimes technology fails us,
Yeah,
it's
it's not cooperating.
okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Okay.
So, it's important to note that these programs are really valuable. The STEM schools, I did a little research and I wanted to share some research information that I have.
Yes.
In the United States, there are approximately 691 schools that are specifically focused on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Additionally, there are 90 selected public STEM high schools across the country. Now, Leah is in a STEAM school, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Yeah.
And you can explore, if you are interested as a parent to find out more about these schools. That's the website to go to, www.stemschools stemschool.com. And I actually went to that website, and it gives you the whole entire map of the United States, and you can kind of see what's there. I don't know if other countries have programs like this or similar. If you're in the comments section and you're abroad and let us know. We are definitely would be interested. Um, and these are really great programs to look into. I didn't find a specific website for the STEAM programs, but you can't Google STEAM programs in your area, just like
Yeah.
STEAM programs, uh, and then put your zip code, and it you will find some stuff. Like when I was looking for like a general website like this one, I did find like something local in my New York City area, but that doesn't work for everyone. So it didn't really make sense to provide that because they're very much by district here.
Yeah. So it would be
So
best to look in your own area.
exactly. Exactly. And I wanted to share that information. These schools are, really fantastic. And they're doing a lot for our girls. Now, you as a mom, how did you get your daughter into this program?
Well, they actually so they came around to her school, to the elementary schools last year. Mr. Hensley, he's the director of her school. He's the one that
Hmm.
the video description I sent you earlier,
Yes.
that was him. He actually came around to all the elementary schools and gave a talk, and she told me that she was interested in going to that school instead of the regular school. So we applied, and it was a lottery application. So you have to it was a like a survey thing. They have to ask you questions about and ask the kids, like, how do you feel, and like, how do you like learning. And so
Hmm.
it was very interesting. Just, it wasn't just a name grade, you know address. It was actually a pretty in
So they don't necessarily focus on their GPA per se, but
mm-mm.
on the whole.
Yeah, and what would best benefit the student. Now, if they don't maintain their grades, they may not be able to stay at the school, but
Okay.
they are doing well. So, but
Excellent. Now,
it
if
was
a child has issues, like is having challenges learning something, do they have tutoring programs and
they have some, and then they do work with like kids with IEPs
Mhm.
and programs like that. They do work with all of that. And there
Oh,
are
wow,
and
that's really good.
they do have peer tutoring, because her school is actually fifth grade through eighth grade. So they have peer tutoring for the older kids to help the younger kids. And it's like a volunteer program, and it's I forget what they call it, but it's a leadership program for the older kids, but then the younger kids benefit by being tutored.
Exactly. And hopefully she can transition to a STEAM or a STEM high school in your
Yes.
area as well. And this gives her the leg up in so
Yes.
much.
And that's
Mhm.
exactly right. That she gets a better chance at a better tomorrow, you know,
Yes.
because
Which is
she
something
has,
that most parents want, is to give their kids a better life than they had and have.
yeah.
We're supposed to outdo our parents, right? That's our
Well,
job.
we were even talking about that the other day, because she's, I gotta get my laptop to do my homework. I said, girl, when I was in school, we didn't even have laptops. We had a computer lab that we got to go to like once a week.
Yeah.
And if you had to do stuff on, like, do a research project, you had to read paper encyclopedias at the library,
At the library,
or
that's a
or
do
use the
actual
computer
physical
at
research.
the library, because we didn't have computers at home.
Yep. There
and
was
and
no
now they give
Googling
you a
anything.
computer. Yeah,
No
now they give
Googling.
them a computer to use. So that's so
That
different.
is excellent. The STEAM program gives her a computer to use for school
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really great. That is really fantastic. And I'm assuming it's a loaner computer until
Yeah,
she
and we have
graduates, right?
insurance on it, on all that. Yeah, it's checked out to her, and we have insurance on it, so in case anything happens to it. But
Yes.
she has to have it at school every day, because a lot of their work that they do is on the computer. And it's preparing them for the world that they're going, not the world that we came from, but the world that they're going into, that is primarily online, and most of the work is done with computers and on the net and all that.
Yes, definitely. Now we do have our faithful viewer here,
Mm-hmm.
United Federation of Planets, uh, with us, and it's wonderful to have you here. Um, how are you doing? Is the question we
Oh,
want to know.
yep.
um, and so keep your comments coming in definitely.
Yes.
And your questions coming in, that's really important to us. We want to make sure that we celebrate these young ladies. Now we want to
Yep.
go into our next segment, which is our female scientist segment. Sarah, take it away.
So this week we have Gitanjali Rowe. She is 18 years old and is currently a freshman at MIT. So she's super advanced. She is an American inventor, author, and social activist, a STEM student and advocate. She was born in 2005 in Columbus, Ohio, to Bhathri and Ram Rao, and she is of Indian descent. Rao was first influenced by a science kit her uncle gave her when she was only 4 years old. When she was 10, she heard about the Flint water crisis while watching the news and became interested in ways to measure the lead content in water. This led to her using an app inventor to develop a device called Tethys, which was based on carbon nanotubes that can send water quality information via Bluetooth. She collaborated with the research scientists at 3M, and in 2017, she won the Discovery Education 3M Young Scientist Challenge and was awarded $25,000 for her invention. Her patent pending device is able to detect lead in water faster than any other current techniques. She was a Time for Kids, like Time Magazine, Time for Kids, reporter in 2018 and wrote articles bringing awareness to the Flint crisis. In the past few years, she was involved in research at the University of Colorado, Denver. In 2019, she developed Epione, a diagnostic tool for early diagnosis of prescription opioid addiction. This picture here, she's with First Lady Jill Biden at the White House. Rao was among 15 individuals from around the U.S. honored at the Girls Leading Change celebration on October 11th. In 2020, Time Magazine named her the first ever Kid of the Year. More recently, Rao developed an app named Kindly that uses artificial intelligence that can detect cyberbullying at an early stage and has partnered with UNICEF to roll out the service globally. She was awarded the Cyber Mission STEM in Action grant to implement the solution. She is an active STEM promoter and involved in promoting STEM across STEM-based activities in schools, clubs, and the community. She was selected as the National STEM Scout of the Year. She conducts innovation sessions weekly and has impacted more than 70,000 elementary, middle, and high school students globally by sharing her process and tools across 4 continents. She was recognized in 2019 by Forbes' 30 Under 30 for science and for the lead detection tool invention. She is also an EPA Presidential Award winner and is recognized as the Gloria Barron Young Hero honoree for community impact. She is also the winner of Global Paradigm Science Challenge. Some of Gitanjali's hobbies include playing piano, Indian classical dancing and singing, swimming, fencing, and baking. She shares her talent playing piano in local assisted living centers. Gitanjali won awards for her writing in national and international contests. She published her first book at the age of 9 called Baby Brother's Wonders, a self-illustrated book that described the world through her younger brother's point of view. Gitanjali has also won first place in the International Aviation Art Contest for the last 4 years at the state level, and her art is displayed at Nashville International Airport. Apart from writing and art, Gitanjali is part of STEM Scouts and 4-H Club and runs innovation and technology workshops for elementary schools worldwide. Oh goodness. Rao is a three-time TED Talk speaker and is TEDx speaker and is passionate about sharing her love of STEM. She has given over 200 talks and workshops in more than 40 countries. She conducts innovative workshops for students throughout the globe in partnership with after-school clubs, organizations, schools, science museums, STEM organizations, and other educational organizations to promote a problem-solving curriculum for K-12 students. In November 2023, Gitanjali said, "Right now, I plan to major in biological engineering and minor in entrepreneurship and innovation. MIT has been my dream school. In the last few months, I have really grown up living on the campus and in the labs. My dream is to work on developing solutions to some of the most complex problems in our communities and possibly someday run a biotech company."
Wow. That's amazing. And you know what? I think that this young lady is going to do it.
I know she's going places, and she's
9,
only 18.
yes. At 9, she wrote a book.
Yes,
I want to read this book.
yeah,
She is an impressive young lady.
yes, she
Definitely
is.
somebody to check out, check out. And it's a school supporter. So absolutely, you know,
Yes, it kind of works into our.
yeah. And keeping up with the theme of tonight and honoring, uh, children and women in the sciences, we're going to be doing a book recommendation that's very special to me. And I have a little bit of a video to share with you guys with that book recommendation. So, on to our next segment. Okay, now for this book recommendation, I have here the Star Trek Baby's First Klingon Words. I love this book. I don't care. This is a baby first Klingon language book that a parent can read with their child. The words are easy to pronounce and are everyday words. It's perfect and fun way for the nerd Star Trek fan parent to introduce Star Trek to their young child. The age range of the book is from baby to 6 years old. This is a really fun book for chick kids. And I had actually bought this book for my nephew, Corbin, and a while back. And my niece has sent me a video of him asking for them to read it together. He's a little boy. It was kind of hard for her to catch his face. I asked her permission to share the video, so you're gonna see his toes though. But this is the video of him reading this book.
Mom, we're doing.
Come on, let's do it. Ready?
Good.
Baby.
Baby.
Goo.
Go.
Tree.
Tree.
Sor. Girl. Behom. Face.
Face.
Quab.
Call.
Nose.
Nose.
Gish.
Fish.
Eye.
Eye.
Min.
Me.
Mouth.
Wow.
Nouge.
New.
Boy.
Boy.
Ladom.
Madam.
Arm. Des.
This.
Head.
Hit.
Nach. Hand.
Hand.
Kop.
Cook.
Foot.
Foot.
Kwam.
Crumb.
Leg.
Leg.
Us.
Us.
Klingon.
Pan.
Honor.
Honor.
Baslet.
Dash.
Worms.
World.
Quag.
Cock.
Pet.
Pet.
Tarsh. Success. Quapla.
Kappa.
Love.
Love.
Parmac.
That
That's
is him.
cute.
He is adorable. He is adorable. And he's reading these books, and it's a fun way to kind of introduce your child to um something nerdy,
Yeah,
you know? Um, but I have to say that if you go to Amazon, you can search for Star Wars or Star Trek. They have kids books there.
yeah. We
Lots
actually
of
have a
different
bunch of
ones.
star.
Mhm.
We have a bunch of Star Wars books, and
Yeah,
like baby, one of them's Star Wars ABCs, and it's it's funny, it's cute.
absolutely. They're adorable. Um, and I think it's really fantastic when kids get into reading, and encourage your child to read. And if they like
Yes,
sci-fi or fiction or fantasy, encourage that. Reading really does help to shape your mind and to help with cognitive thinking,
yes.
and view and world viewpoints and things like that. So really is a very important thing to do to get your children to read, you know and it's, as a parent, Sarah, what are your techniques when you started to get Leah to start to enjoy reading, getting her to read? What were your techniques?
I pick things that she liked. So, you know, it at first it was ponies, and then it was fairies and whatnot, and then it moved on to other things like that I liked, um, and I passed that on, like the Star Wars books, and like she was telling you earlier before the show about she has a Monster High book that she's reading now, and it just it letting her pick what she wants to read, not just forcing her to read See Spot Run.
Exactly, and that's the point, is getting your kids to that public library. Let them look around, let them take their time, let them search through the books,
Mhm.
give them that opportunity to find who they are.
Oh yeah, she loves going to our library. They have a huge Marvel section in the kids section. And I mean, they have Star Wars books too, and she's checked out quite a few of those. But the Marvel ones were her favorite, and they helped her so much because it held her attention, and then she wanted to read. Whereas it was just kind of like at school they make you read.
Exactly. And these are the things that she's choosing to read, which is,
Right,
again, the key to getting your kid to read is letting them choose what they want to read.
right,
And you don't know, like a lot of kids in, the 50s and 60s, they were into comics, and now they're comic book writers, and
right.
you don't know what
Well,
these things are going to
and
influence your kid.
I think we talked about this when we did Paper Girls, but
Yes.
um comic books have just as many words per page as a regular chapter book at the
Yes, they
same age
do.
level for her. So they are just as effective as teaching reading. So if,
Hmm.
whoever says, well, comic books aren't real reading, well, no, they actually, and it's much smaller, and they have to learn how to track because they have to follow the progression of the story. So,
Absolutely.
for someone
Yes.
like Leah who has dyslexia, it's easier for her to read a comic book than it is to read a chapter book.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. I would have never guessed that about Leah. She's so articulate. It's,
Yeah. Well,
that's
we work
amazing.
really hard on things, and like those picture books, those Star Wars picture books, and then the comic books and the books that she's chosen, they are kind of in that storyboard format, so that makes it
Yeah.
easier for her to follow, because when you have just like text like this, if she looks away, she loses her spot. So it's very hard for her.
Oh, I can imagine. But let's take it to the next segment
Yep.
where we give you some podcast recommendations. All right. Now, of course, I'm always going to start with my buddy.
Jace?
VHS Jace, his TikTok page is blowing up. If you are nostalgic about old TV shows, video clips, this is the place to go. Um, and he's also does a great show with my buddy Rick, Pop Culture Spread. They give movies and streaming news every Friday and Saturday. Fridays at 6:30, and on Saturday at 9 a.m. Australia time. Not sure what that translates here, but they just do a great job in giving media news, and they give you some Australian television show information as well. He's also
He
with
spilled a chip.
Jason Roy Gaston. He is everywhere, you know um where he does the VHS vault. They do old classic movie reviews. They have a show called If You Disagree, You're Wrong, where they review the more recent shows, which are really fantastic, and The Power of J School. So if you're a fan of these old shows, old television shows, movies, definitely check them out. And of course, my brother from another mother at Captain Squadron with Jason Roy Gaston. We've got Joe Dub every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All things Star Trek, movie, TV. If it's Star Trek, they will talk about it, new and old. And he also has in another webpage of his, to be seen.com, um, the council room where they talk about all things Doctor Who, which is actually really a good podcast. Definitely, they have great guests as well. Um, and my buddies, Nerdy Up North, they have an array of fantastic podcasts that you can choose from. They do gaming, they do Trek, they do monster movies, and they have a new segment called Gigs Up North. So check them out. They're really fantastic, very positive, very keeping the community safe kind of mentality, which is great. And the Phoenix Sisters, they do a lot of cosplay, lots of geeky things. They just did a fantastic fundraiser for Comics for Kids, and I believe they met their goal. But they do wonderful work. The Comics for Kids fundraiser, they distribute comics to kids in hospitals or cancer centers throughout the U.S. Kid-friendly comic books, and they did an amazing job with that fundraiser. And we also have the Silver Screen podcast and the Hit or Miss Star Trek podcast with Michael Wilson, and they do all things Star Trek. And in the Silver Screen, they do a lot of the older movies, which is pretty fantastic. I'm actually going to be posting soon a list of the dates that I'll be on. Phoenix Sisters. I'm going to be on with Mike Wilson as well. So I'm in, and I just got one today and asked to be on in
Woo!
another podcast. So I'm going to put out a list so you guys can listen in, which is Earth Station Trek, and they talk
Ooh.
all things Trek. They're great group of people. They actually did a Star Trek wine and review, and they had the Romulan ale, the blood wine, or the Picard wine.
Ooh.
Pretty fantastic. They're just a fun group of people. Um, and now next week, we're going to be celebrating. We have an additional, it's every other Friday that we're on, but this month is Black History Month, and we wanted to do a specific episode celebrating Black women in sci-fi and science. That's going to be February 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have a special guest. So if you want to know who that guest is, you got to come and join us. We're going to be talking about all of these beautiful Black actresses and TV shows that have been in science fiction. Sarah's going to bring you an amazing Black woman in science. I have been reading a book a sci-fi book from a Black author, which, I have to say, there aren't a lot out there. They've been really challenging to find, you know. And I want more Black authors to write science fiction. It's only really been the last 20 years. Um, but it's going to be fantastic show. So, that again is going to be February 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, with a special guest. So come and join us, and we'll announce the special guest as we get closer. So, Sarah, are you looking forward to celebrating with Sci-Fi Queens Black History Month?
Yes, I am. I think um it's something that we should address and that we should talk about.
Yeah,
And even just like what you just said, that there's, you want more authors, and honestly there probably were more authors, but they were turned down,
yeah,
you know and that's just, and that we can celebrate them now, and that we're getting
yeah.
acceptance for the community is good, and that I
Yeah, and one
appreciate
of the
that.
things that I did notice in my research is the authors, the Black sci-fi authors that I found, um, they've only been around for about 20 years. That's not a lot
No.
considering how long sci-fi has been. But I'm wondering how many of them had to hide their identity in order to get published, and maybe there's more out there.
Right, and that,
Yeah.
or publishing under a pseudonym. I mean, because women used to have to use men's names to
Mhm.
write, and then
Absolutely.
it would make sense if they had to use a pseudonym also to hide their ethnicity, or their origins, because
Yes.
you know of the
Yeah, it
way
makes perfect sense.
everything was run
Yeah.
previously. And now the world is more accepting, so it's progressing, but
We're
yeah.
still trying to fight for the same rights we always tried to have, but I
Yes.
think that we have more availabilities now and
Yes.
more acceptance and
And
openness.
there's more visibility
Yeah,
too, so.
more visibility. Women no longer have to hide behind a male name and things like
Right.
that, which is really important. Um, but I was recommended this particular author, and I was able to get her audiobook. It's really, really good. And I'm reading someone, and I'm not gonna say who it is. You gotta stay tuned. But apparently, she is considered the goat of sci-fi Black authors. So, because she's
Ooh.
been around for so long,
Oh, that's
writing
good.
science fiction. I mean, the struggle must have been indeed intense for her to be
Yes.
noticed. So this is going to be pretty fantastic. So join us on February 16th at 8 p.m. So we can celebrate these wonderful characters that have meant so much to us in science fiction, in real life science, and all of these wonderful things.
Yeah.
But we thank you for joining us tonight and celebrating the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Leah, for being a part of it. There she is. Hey, girl. um, but we are just going to say goodnight now, and see you next week.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our new channel so that you can get notified when new videos come up. Thank you for watching our show.